rebranded it as being marijuana, so that way they can pass laws to make it criminal to possess cannabis. All this was carried by the deep state because they know and also understand how powerful this plant is for all types of healing, but also it connects you to higher realm. Okay, so I met a twin flame who has the ability to tap into the Akashic records, and he can just get any information downloaded. And I had some questions that I want to ask regarding cannabis, because some of these questions I have, they can't be found anywhere on the internet. They can't be found by any galactic channeling, so it has to be only tapped into from the Akashic records. And one of the questions I asked was, I already knew from my research that cannabis was a plant that was brought here by the ETs. Okay, it's not native to this planet. It was brought here by the ETs, but I want to know exactly what ET was responsible for introducing cannabis to the planet, and it was the Pleiadians. I also wanted to know at what frequency that the plant is vibrating at. And the plant vibrates at a very high frequency at 535 hertz. Now that's just a few hertz higher than the heart frequency, which is 528. Okay, so this is a very high vibrational plant. Most people live in fear, lack, and scarcity. When you adjust, let's say you took one puff from cannabis, literally you're able to elevate your consciousness and your emotional state being from 200-300 hertz all the way up to 500. I mean, when you're under the influence of cannabis, you are much more connected. You feel more connected. You feel one with everything. It's easier for you to feel a sense of gratitude, a sense of appreciation. It's also easier for you to also be in a state of joy, bliss, happiness, just like overall peace. This is the reason why the controllers of this planet do not want the human collective to be ingesting cannabis, because it puts you in a higher vibrational state which they cannot feed off you anymore, because they require you to be vibrating at 100, 200 hertz to feed off your loosh. Cannabis will automatically put you into 500 hertz frequency, and you're there just laughing, having a good time. You're not bothered by anything that's going on. Not only that, you're not able to be mind controlled. When you're under the influence of cannabis, you're already in an altered state of consciousness. You're already at alpha state, which is a state that you're receiving information. You can actually get lots of download information when you're in this state of consciousness. This is the reason why they don't want you to also be ingesting cannabis, because they can't continue to mind control people with their television, with their media, mass media programming, when you're already in an altered state of consciousness. Hypnosis doesn't work on people who are high on cannabis. Hypnotherapy, hypnotists know this information. When you're high on cannabis, they don't want to hypnotize you because it doesn't work. Because when you're in an altered state of consciousness, you're able, especially on cannabis, you're able to perceive and understand things at a deeper level. It forces you to go into yourself. It also helps to keep your pineal gland activated. Another reason why the deep state and these negative alien forces don't want the human collective to be ingesting this powerful plant, because the pineal gland is the gateway for you to access into higher realms and to higher consciousness, and to also for you to connect with your higher self. When you're high on cannabis, it's a lot easier for you to get answers and get download. You can ask yourself any question and then the answer will come to you instantly. It makes it easier for you to have that relationship with your higher self. The ego is not in the way as well too. Now, I want to share a bit of intel I came across when I was diving into the Majestic 12 disclosure document. And the intel that I came across is that during the Roswell crash, the Zeta Grays educated the military intel on how powerful cannabis is. And after they educate the military intel, this is when they outright place prohibition on cannabis. And this is an excerpt from that intel, okay, from that disclosure document. Roswell Beans educated Mill intel about consciousness and how it can be manipulated and exploited with substances. Alcohol is pushed because it calcifies your pineal gland. Marijuana is prohibited because Roswell Zeta Reticula explained its value. Marijuana legalization will come with disclosure because they are intimately connected to understanding the biological connection our consciousness has with other plants and species and what information those life forms are attempting to communicate and how. Okay, what is alien? Alien is a frame of mind and lens of understanding of intuition. That piece of intel is already preparing you to let